Hello everyone, this is Lolly. I'm back with another installment of my video series called Crafts Gone By. And this one involves sketching. I started as a teenager sketching, and I quickly discovered that in order for me to sketch an object, I had to be looking at the object. I couldn't just, for instance, sketch a picture of a horse. I had to actually be looking at a horse. I used to always admire someone who would be so talented as to be able to sketch an object without staring at it. So I'm going to look at one or show you one page at a time in my sketchbook and kind of explain them as I go through and see if I can get any closer at all. Now you notice that the pencil work is really light, so I'm sorry it's really hard to see. This is 1975, and you can see that I even wrote Lolly at the bottom. This is an old radio that I had, and even you can see the little turn knobs here and the screen. What a hoot, the antenna. So this next picture is really wild. I had some sort of an object, or one of those like figurines that you mold them into certain positions, and so I did this one. I don't know why, except I remember we were talking about how flexible people were and whether they could put their leg behind their head. So again, that's 1975. So you can see how ancient these are. It's hard for you to see on camera, but I do have lines and circles and everything to help me get the proportions right on the body. The next one is, I had done this looking at a women's fashion magazine. I really can't get the whole, there it is. I'm trying to get the whole thing in on camera. The whole thing is slanted, and I'm looking at it like it looks like it needs to be angled this way based on the ground there. Anyway, I thought that was really well done when I was, you know, a teenager. Next, another one also from a fashion magazine. And this one is headless. I didn't cut it off of the video. It's really headless. I was just trying to do the clothes and the bangle bracelet there. There's no hand here either. And then I had a troll collection, you know, those plastic troll dolls with all the wavy hair. I remember thinking at the time that I was really happy with how this one turned out. I think, yeah, it's pretty much all in camera. Okay, and then I did this bunny. Now we're into 1976 here, by the way. I remember this was a hard plastic, it might have been a bank or something, I don't know, but it was hard plastic and it had that like velveteen material glued to it. But I do remember the bunny. And then, now into 1977, I notice I'm going where I'm sketching only once or twice a year at this point. This was one of those, paint your own ceramics. A store had just opened up in town, and I had picked up this little turtle. I thought he was the cutest little thing with that little smile. And I had painted him all kinds of green colors and had sprayed him with some sort of like a frosty sealer, and it was so cute. So I did not only his front side, but I did his back side as well. I remember working on it and thinking it was so hard to paint a straight line on his shell. It was pretty difficult, but anyway. And then this one, I actually drew my own hand. So as I just posed my left hand, and then I drew it with my right. And then this one, oh, how bad. It's, I didn't even sign or date this one. Really bad glass. And I remember not being happy with how it turned out. This one, let's make sure I'm on camera. It was a little rubber toy. You notice a lot of my drawings were toys, little figurines. And this one, I do not remember drawing this or even what I was looking at when I drew it. You know, looking back, and this is 1977, and it's had to have been a toy. I can't remember. But back in the 70s, you know, when I grew up, we were calling police officers pigs, and it took me a while to realize that is not a favorable connotation. And I definitely do not call them that now because I have respect for the police officers, and I realized that that was disrespectful. So I think this toy obviously is not breeding respect there. And then I went years without drawing, a few years anyway. And then when my first daughter was born, I was traveling and she was in her car seat while my husband was driving, and I just sketched her as she was staring out the window, sucking on her pacifier. And I did it on this awful, awful paper and then glued it in here. And I just wish that I would have, either carried this with me or had something reasonable to draw on. But so that's that picture of her. But you'll notice, look, this got put on the shelf. I got busy in my life, and I just really didn't come back to it anymore. So recently, well, I did that song, the Lali Llama song, when I was playing the ukulele. And so I was interested in drawing a llama. And so this is the first that and you can see all my doodles here and pencil marks. This is the first time that I could say that I drew something without having to stare at something else and copy exactly what I was seeing. So I was really happy with how this turned out, and I have traced it in darker lines so that I could photocopy it and maybe do some, images that I could color. But anyway, I did look online at, I looked to scan a whole bunch of llamas to make sure I understood the difference between a llama and an alpaca, and which one had tall ears, which one had the longer neck, etc. And then I got off the computer and drew this without staring at an actual one. So it's not an actual 100% replication of anything that I saw. So I was really pleased that I was able to draw that. And thank you so much for watching and for coming along in my journey of watching me on my crafts gone by.